everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Exquisite Beauty MUA, and as you know, last month for the month of June it was Pride Month and everybody was going around Instagram and YouTube creating beautiful rainbow looks. I've never tried that before, so I wanted to give it a try. I went out to Wynwood with my husband to go out to eat, and there was a Pride event going on and I really got inspired, especially when I saw this look right here. It is by Isa Giamelli, I believe, and I saved it because I was just like, wow, that looks absolutely stunning. Of course, I tried taking pictures of my look. It didn't come out quite the same, but I loved the way the look came out, and I actually got some compliments that night, which I was actually very surprised. I couldn't get a good picture of it for the life of me. It was nighttime. I usually like to use natural lighting for that. That is the look I did that night. You can kind of see it, but the colors weren't showing up as much as I wanted it to. This one came out a little bit fuzzy, a little blurry, and I was just like, man, I'm just gonna have to recreate it again so that way I can record it and post it up on YouTube. And let's just jump right into it. Just a fair warning, I had to use a bunch of different palettes because I didn't have all of the colors in one, so this is kind of going to be a couple different ones. I'm gonna try to keep it as smooth as possible so you guys know which palettes I'm gonna be using. As long as you have the primary colors in a palette, you can use just that. I am just working with what I had. And let me just do my eyebrows, prime and set my eyes, and then I'll be right back so we can get started on the look. So I did want to do my other eye completely before I did start the tutorial because I didn't exactly remember which colors I used. I was using the Instagram picture as a reference, and let's just get started so I could show you how I recreated this. And I'm gonna be starting off with my Crown Pro palette, and I'm gonna be starting off with this shade right here, and I'm gonna be using my Morphe 441, and I'm just gonna be putting this all over my eyelid first. Next, with that same Morphe 441 brush, I want to dip into this color right here, and I am going to be putting that just a little bit lower into this area right here. I'm just going to be dipping into that color again as I slowly want to start building that up. And as you can see, I did put down some good old Scotch tape because I do want the look to be very defined. And we are messing around with a lot of colors, so this kind of keeps it a little bit together on the ends. You will see what I'm talking about once I am finished with the look. And next, I'm going to be taking my Morphe 433 brush, and I'm going to be dipping into these two colors right here and just bringing this just a little bit lower than the previous color that we used. Setting most of the color on the outer part first and then just bringing it in to deepen that crease up. And I'm just going to be repeating this one more time to deepen it up even more. And next, I'm going to be using my Morphe, the 507, and I'm going to be taking that dark brown just to deepen up that area even more. And I'm just going to be using this Luxe 121 brush with that same brown color and set this down in that same general area that we just set that dark brown. It's using the same color. I just feel like the one before kind of outlines it for us to where we want to set it, and this blends it out a little bit better. Just cleaning off my Morphe, the 433 brush. I'm just going to be taking that brick color right there very lightly and using that on the edges of the colors that we set down so we can blend that a little bit better. And then with my Morphe 505, this is a clean brush. I'm just going to be going over everything to blend it in together. And then just quickly dipping into my Alamar Cosmetics Reina del Caribe palette. I'm just going to be taking this color La Costa up here on an E.L.F smudge brush just so I can highlight the tops of my brow. And And next, I'm just going to be cutting my crease like I usually do with my Alamar crease brush and my NYX Above and Beyond Full Coverage Concealer, and using it in the color beige, and just cutting my crease like I normally do. Alright, so fun fact. I just had to wipe off my whole eye and redo this part again because when I cut the seam to go cut my crease, I came back and I didn't press record. Yeah, funny story. So I sat there for like 15 minutes. I'm like, I didn't know what the heck to do because I was done with my eyeliner and everything, and I was just like, oh yeah, that whole part that I needed to have on there is it was never there. Well, let's finish up with the look, and I am gonna be dipping into the Morphe. This is the 39S palette that just came out, and I am going to be starting off with this pink shade right over here. I'm gonna be putting this right over top of that, and then just lightly put a little bit of this. I didn't do this in the original look that I had done a couple weeks ago, but I do want to do it the same way that I did my other eye. I'm going to be using my Morphe E32 brush to start off with that first pink color and putting that down on the first part of my eye and just tapping that in. At least now I know what to do exactly, so I'll be able to move a little bit quicker. I can't believe I did that. I was so upset, and I just might insert the reaction that I had when I realized that I hadn't been recording the whole time. Phenomenal. And then for most of this look, I am going to be using the same brush. I'm just going to be cleaning it off. That way none of the previous eyeshadow will be mixed in with the next eyeshadow that I'll be using. And just lightly tapping in that lighter pink shade right on top. And just to kind of soften that up, because that first pink that I did put on was a little bit darker than I actually wanted it to be. So with this pink, it kind of lightens it up a bit. And then just ever so slightly putting in a little bit of that shimmer color right on top. Since I messed it up with doing it to the other eye, I might as well have them both looking the same way. And next, I am going to be dipping into this Laura Lee Party Animal palette, and this one was actually perfect. I think I could have used this alone for all of the colors, but this pink that was right there was a little bit too shimmery for my taste, so I was just like, I wanted to dip into some other palettes. Might have been overboard with all the palettes that I used, but as long as you have these type of shades, you can use them. You don't have to necessarily do everything that I did. It's just I was working with what I had. And I'm just gonna be dipping into this color Drinks right here. It is a bright orangey color, and using that same Morphe E32 brush and just cleaning it in between, tapping off the excess. I'm gonna be lightly putting that over the pink and then onto my eyelid as well. And I don't want you to worry about the blending portion and how it looks. Right now we're just setting the colors down, and we will worry about blending later. But as I'm putting this down, I'm slowly tapping and patting down the color, and then when I'm over the pink, I will lightly sweep to kind of blend those colors in together. But again, don't worry about that too much. And cleaning that brush off and going into that same Laura Lee palette, I'm gonna be going with this color up here. It's a Party, and this is gonna be a bright yellow. And the same way we did the orange, I'm gonna slowly pack it over the orange and then over my eyelid. And you go back into the palette or the color as many times as you need. That way you can get it as pigmented as you would like. And just make sure that you're going all the way to where you cut your crease. That way eventually you're gonna get a nice look when we're done. And whenever you're doing a look, it's gonna look crazy at one point or another, but you just have to stick it through until the end. And next, I do want to use this Miron Precious Gem Powder. This is in the color Aquamarine, and I'm gonna be using that same Morphe E32 brush, just cleaning it off before each new color I'm going to set down. And I'm just going to slowly tap the excess that's on here. We don't need too much. And next, I want to dip into this LA Colors Lotus palette that I got from Dollar Tree. I could have used the blue that was in the Laura Lee palette, but I didn't want to do a flat matte blue color because of the aquamarine color that I just laid down. It is a little bit shimmery, so I actually wanted to go in with something like this, and same Morphe E32 brush, dipping into that blue color in the middle, slightly tapping off the excess, and then just laying that down as our next color. Then cleaning my brush off again and using the Laura palette and this purpley bluish color called Hung Over, putting that color on the outermost part of my eye. And at this point we can start blending in the colors because this is going to be our last shade. And now at this point what I would do is clean off my brush again, and basically what we're going to be doing is working backwards. So now I'm going to be playing with that blue and purplish color just so I could start blending them in. So I'm going to be dipping back into that LA Colors palette, into that blue, and start putting it over the purple color that we just used, and putting the brush at an angle. That way I'm getting both colors and blending them in with that same brush until you get it where you want between all of the colors. This is dipping back into the purple. And going back into that blue. And then now moving into the aquamarine color one more time. Slightly taking it over the blue and over the yellow as well. At this point, I'm doing a light mixture of tapping and then swiping at the same time when I'm at the edge of the previous color. That way I can kind of blend the two colors in together. Going back in with that yellow color, I call this a party in the Laura palette. Lightly tapping off the excess and kind of going into the aquamarine color and the orange at the same time. You have to play with this part a little bit more because you have to make sure you like it and how it looks. Now that I put this yellow color over here, I don't like the way that the aquamarine is disappearing. So what I'm going to do is go back into the aquamarine, get a little bit of it, and then put it over the yellow shade again. And in that same Laura Lee, that orange color that we used, and this one I am swiping across. And just going in with that first bright pink, wow, going in with that first bright pink color that we started off using. And then the lighter pink right on top. And then just going back into that orange just one more time so I could blend this area again. And I do want to go into my Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette, and I want to dip into this color right here called Electric, and I'm just going to be putting that on my finger, tapping into it ever so slightly, and then just tapping this over the aquamarine, the yellow, and the orange just a little bit, but mainly starting off where the aquamarine color is. This color is really cool because it's like a duochrome color. It gives off a green, yellow, gold look, and so when I threw this on, when I did this originally the first time, I thought it was absolutely stunning, and it just looks really, really pretty, and it finishes off the look very, very nicely. So I absolutely loved this touch. And last but not least, I'm gonna be dipping into another Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. This one is the Prism one. Reason reason why I'm doing this is because she does these really intense black colors, and I did want to dip into that color Obsidian right in the corner. It's really black, and I'm going to be using my Morphe. This is the 507, and I'm just going to be tapping it in ever so slightly, like literally just once. Lightly tap it off, and then I'm going to be placing this on that outer corner just so I can darken up that purple a little bit more. And just doing that same thing one more time. And then now I can remove the Scotch tape, and you want to do this very carefully so that you're not pulling on your skin so much. And that creates just a beautiful and clean look, and this is the perfect guideline to doing the eyeliner. It makes it so much easier too. And I'm just going to be using my Colourpop liquid liner, and this one is going to be in the color Numero Uno, and I'm going to be using this just to stencil out the liner first. And I like this to do this part first because it's very fine and detailed, but when I'm going over my eye here, it tends to be very bumpy and it's not as clean as I would like it to be. So what I'm going to do is go in with my E.L.F gel liner right over that first part of my eye, so that way it is a little bit smoother. And I did want to do a very small liner because the look is just absolutely stunning. So I didn't want the liner to take away from the look that we created. And it was at this point when I did my look that I thought that I was recording. I was like, I wasn't recording nothing. I was literally like, I finished doing my eyeliner. I was just like, wow, really? Like that just happened? But I just like cleaned it off and started it again, so you know, whatever, stuff happens. And next, what I do want to do is use my Colourpop gel liners, and yes, we are going to use all of these colors in the waterline, and I basically just want to replicate what I did on the top of my eyes. I want to do that on my waterline as well, and let me just do the rest of my face very quickly, and I will be right back so we can do that on the waterline. And I am going to be starting off with the Colourpop gel liner. This is in the color Boots, and I'm going to be starting off by putting this pink color on the first part of my eye. And since I didn't do my face makeup already, I'm going to be using my beauty blender just to hold that down. And next I'm going to be using the color Puppy. And then we'll be going back and forth with the colors just so we can blend them in just like we did with the eyes. And next I'm going in with the color Punch. And this is a yellow color. Next, I'm going to be using a Teaspoon. This is a green color. And I'm just going to be going back in with that yellow color one more time, but blend these colors right here just a little bit better. And then last, on the outermost part of my waterline, I'm going to be using Bee Sting. Alright guys, and here is the final look on this Pride rainbow colorful look that I did want to try out, and I absolutely love the way that it turned out. A few slight hiccup, but hey, it's life and that's what happens sometimes, and you just gotta learn how to deal with the punches. It ended up working out perfectly, and I know Pride month was last month, but either way I did want to get this look up because I just love the way that it turned out so much. And I know that there has been so many looks like this. I wanted to try out for myself because I did have some doubt, I have to admit. I didn't think I was going to be able to do something like that or recreate something like this. I surprised myself, and just like with anything else, you just have to try, see how it works out. The more you practice it, the more you're gonna get better at it. So hey, it ended up turning out beautifully. I love the way that this looks. But yeah guys, that is it for today. I hope that you did enjoy the tutorial on this, and you recreate it yourself. You never know, you might surprise yourself. And if you did enjoy this video, just remember to give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe. I would love for you to join us. And remember, always be grateful, always be thankful, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye!